Hello everyone, welcome back to another Doctor Who figure review. In today's Doctor Who figure review, I'll be taking a look at the 9th Doctor collector set containing a new variant of the 9th Doctor with a new head sculpt, the disco dancing Rose, and the holographic 9th Doctor. So the way this review is going to work is I'm going to take a look at the packaging, articulation and detail, and do a comparison to the existing 9th Doctor figures, and of course the Rose figure. If you can call it a figure. The packaging for the 9th Doctor collector figure set, so we have the traditional style guide packaging motif there, the Doctor Who logo, the TARDIS, the window box displaying the figure so you can check for quality control, the name of the set and the scale of the figures side, and on the back we have the information about the 9th Doctor there, which is all very lovely. First figure I'm going to be taking a look at is this 9th Doctor figure. So we've got a new head sculpt for this 9th Doctor, and I believe that the costume is based off World War III and Aliens in London, or maybe a Titan comic variant, because of the trousers being more of a denim blue than the usual black trousers what the 9th Doctor has. I guess it's just to add a bit more colour to the 9th Doctor's costume. So we're going to look at the articulation detail, and then we'll take a look at the comparison of this new 9th Doctor head sculpt compared to the original. Articulation wise is exactly the same for both 9th Doctor figures, so the head can move side to side, the arms can do a full 360-degree turn, 360 at the bicep, bend at the elbow, the wrists do a full 360, and of course the waist do swivel but are incredibly stiff, legs do kick out, and can kind of do the splits, but again hindered by the jacket, and we do have articulation at the knee. Detail wise for the 9th Doctor, so if we take a look at this new head sculpt, I have to say that the photos online didn't do it justice. I think getting this figure in hand, I really do see the 9th Doctor or Christopher Eccleston's likeness, especially when you get it on certain angles. I don't think it works on this side, but I think you really do get it on this side, and they've given him sort of more of a little smirk, a little smile. So it's got that nice sort of cheeky, sassy 9th Doctor expression. So the hair done very nice. We've got a nice sort of dark brown base coat with a brown wash over the top to really highlight Eccleston's hair detail. So you can see that's done very nice. In terms of paint apps, you've got the lines on the forehead. So the paint apps are fairly soft on the face, which really do bring out the sculpting detail on this new head. One thing to note with this head is it is missing Eccleston's little mole. So yeah, that's rather interesting that's not on this figure. Maybe Christopher Eccleston didn't want it on the figure, but yeah, we can see the lines there, the bone structure and jaw structure of Christopher Eccleston's face. It's all done very well, and I think with this figure, it really, I think giving this figure a sonic screwdriver, I know I'm sort of jumping the gun here, really completes this figure. So if I just put a sonic in and you pose it, I think that you really do, it sort of makes this figure come more alive. And I think that if this figure come with a sonic, I think it would definitely complete this figure even more personally, because I think that once you give this figure the sonic, you really can see Christopher Eccleston's 9th Doctor. But yes, back to the detail. So we have a new leather jacket sculpt, sort of PVC piece. So this is literally just over that. The arms are exactly the same. And I have to say, I prefer the original leather jacket. I think the one thing this leather jacket does better is I think that it really sits better on Eccleston's body. It's less sort of tailored. It has more of that sort of baggy leather jacket feel to it, much like the one in the show. So we've got this sort of brownish or dark brown plastic moulded in, and then sort of a lighter brown wash to really give it that sort of worn and weathered look. You've got sort of a stippling detail there, the buttons, the pockets are a lot more sort of 3D on this. I don't know if that's sort of where the sort of sculpt and moulding, where it's been sort of taken off the mould is, but it's more of a 3D effect compared to the original, which we'll take a look at in a minute. Pockets there, and again on the back we have again that sort of wash to really highlight that sort of weathered, worn jacket look, which yeah, it doesn't look as good as the original. The original one has more of a leather effect. Of course we have the sort of buckle on the back. It's all done very well, and again nice creasing detail to give it that lifelike effect, and again a buckle on the arm there, which looks very great. But yeah, you can really see the difference in the leather jacket, sort of the detailing from the arms, which haven't been changed, to this new jacket there. The sort of jumper is this sort of purple colour, which I don't think it actually had in the show. I think it was a navy blue, but it's more of a purple. I guess it's more to make the figure pop, much like these trousers, which are basically the denim trousers, which are blue, and then been given a dark wash to really give that a denim effect, which I don't really like, because it's not what he had in the TV show, really. But yeah, they're the nice standard Ninth Doctor trousers with this sort of seam there and the creases to give a lifelike effect. And again, we have the laces on the boot, and we've got the tread of the boots as well. So it's all done well, very much a traditional Ninth Doctor detail. I have to say, I do quite like this head, and like I say, give this figure a sonic screwdriver and the figure really does come alive for me personally. Comparison time, so I thought I'd compare it to a couple Ninth Doctor figures. So we have the Ninth Doctor figures using this body, so we've got the sort of standard Ninth Doctor figure, the one from the 13 Doctor set, the Father's Day San Diego one, the Toys R Us one, and then the two new B&M versions. So I'm mainly going to compare it to the original, the 13 Doctors one, and the Toys R Us one. So if I just move the Father's Day one back and the holographic one, we'll move on to you in a minute, Mr. Holographic Eccleston. So I want to take a look at the original mainly for the head sculpt. So if we get this one and the new one, you can see the difference in the head sculpt. Now, I think I personally prefer the original still. I think I prefer the original one just because it just feels more Eccleston to me. But like I say, if you get this figure on certain angles and give him a sonic screwdriver, it looks more Christopher Eccleston. Now I have to say that this Ninth Doctor figure, the new B&M one, it does feel like the stylized version. Now I've always said in my B&M reviews that the B&M Doctor figures sort of have a cartoonish look nature to them, which really works well. And I think that the Ninth Doctor's sort of been given that cartoon update there. So yeah, that's pretty much the difference in the head sculpt. You can make up your mind which one you prefer, but I still think I'm a bit of a fan of the original one there. So I thought I'd compare it to the 13 Doctors one because the costume is pretty much similar. You can see that this has more of a darker jacket, and you can see that this is a bit more of a lighter purple compared to the one used on the new B&M one there in the trousers. Again, a slightly more of a sort of a denim look to it, but not as denim-y as the B&M version. Now, I want to compare it to this one because of the leather jacket. I think that this is the best version of the leather jacket in terms of detail, and if we look there, you can really see how much the leather detail is sort of lacking, how sort of soft it looks compared to the new version. It just looks very soft, doesn't it, compared to the detailing on this one. I think the Toys R Us one is the best example of the detailing of the leather jacket, but yeah, you can see the arms are very much identical. It's just that new sort of piece over the jacket, which I think fits the body better for Eccleston. This looks more tailored, whereas this has that baggy leather jacket effect. So there's pros and cons to both of these leather jacket sculpts. So let's take a look at Rose, shall we? Rose time, woo! How exciting. Yes, so this Rose figure, I should say this, or well, not this variant of Rose, but you know what I mean. This was the first figure to kick off my Doctor Who figure collection, so it's a bit deja vu getting this, and it's so weird seeing this sculpt being used in 2022. So this, you know, there's been used since 2005, and yeah, this figure has aged quite poorly and quite quickly. So we'll take a look at the articulation, what bits of articulation this figure has, and then we'll go on to the detail. So articulation wise for this Rose figure, well, what do we have? We have the head can kind of move a little bit if you force it. The arms can just move backwards, and that's as high as that arm will go, but it is hindered by the hoodie sculpt there. You can see we do have 360 at the waist. The legs can move, but again are hindered by the way this figure is posed. And that's pretty much the articulation for this Rose. Detail-wise for Rose, well, what can I say? It sort of looks like Billie Piper. Now I will say that they have done the hair more realistic blonde. They've got a sort of a nice bit of detail there, sort of different blonde with sort of a dark wash over it to really give that sort of sense of depth, and sort of the roots of Billie Piper's hair to give that sort of sense of depth and texture. It's all done very well for a 2005 sculpt. You can't really knock it, and I think that the paint apps really give it that nice sort of natural look. And I think this Rose figure is based off the End of the World and sort of the End of Rose, I think. It sort of gives me sort of Christmas Invasion vibe, even though that's not the costume. From the back it looks very Christmas Invasion Rose. But yeah, costume wise, you've got the creasing. I've just ignored the face completely because yeah, I wouldn't say that the detail is that great on it. Yeah, it kind of looks like Billie Piper, and that's all I can really say on the face sculpt. Costume, yeah, got nice creasing details to give out lifelike effect. Got the zip painted there nicely. Again, nice sort of seams on the hoodie to give out lifelike effect. And we don't have rose printed on the back, but we do have legal guff there. There's been a sort of a slight wash over it, like a white wash over the grey, to give it a sort of a textured look, which, you know, I think it really highlights on sort of the creases of the costume on the back, which is done pretty nice. Denim effect, again, they've been given a slight sort of purple wash over it. I don't know if the camera's picking up, you can see it there. Again, to give it that sort of washed, worn denim effect, which again, pretty nice paint apps. But yeah, it's just in that awkward pose, and Rose is ready to fight. And again, nice little things, but they've painted the ring this time on the Rose figure, so yeah, can't really complain about that they've done that. But yeah, the Rose figure seriously needs an update. Yeah, let's move on to a comparison to these other abominations what have this sculpt of Billie Piper. Choose your fighter. Yeah, these two Rose figures. Now I do have another one from the B&M 2017 set, but I thought I'd compare it to the original one. But yeah, you can definitely see straight up they've improved the paint apps on the face for sure. No idea why little me thought that was a good likeness of Billie Piper, but you can see how far character options have grown. This is the progression with the updated paint apps. You can see the hair is a lot more realistic. You can see the difference in sort of the costume used, because this is, you know, the bog standard Rose figure. But you can really see the paint differences on the trousers instead of being moulded in one colour. There's been a sort of an attempt to give it more of a lifelike effect there. So yeah, there's not really much you can compare it to really. It's just the Rose figure, in all honesty, it's a bad figure, and no matter how much you try to improve it, you can't, because it's a product of its time. It's stuck in this sort of static pose. These figures were originally meant to be like figurines, non-articulated things, so the articulation was sort of a late in the day thing. But yeah, you can see that it's not that great. But yeah, you can see how far character options have improved in their paint application. On to the last figure of the set, which is the holographic 9th Doctor, and for many people probably the highlight of this set. Because it's been one of those figures what we've wanted for many years after seeing the prototype of the disco dancing 9th Doctor. But this is the holographic 9th Doctor with using the 2007 sculpt. So we'll take a look at the detail, and then we'll round off this review really. Detail wise for this 9th Doctor figure, well, it's very much your traditional 9th Doctor figure. You can see that there's been sort of elements of paint there to sort of highlight sort of the eyes and the lips, and it's been given a slight wash on the hair. You can see that it is, if you get it in the light, you can see that it is see-through, and it's just a real cool figure. And again, we have the traditional 9th Doctor detailing there of the costume, but we've been given these sort of black lines across it to give it that sort of transmission look, which again, really good. You can see it apparent on the back there. Again, nice detailing of the 9th Doctor's costume. Really not much you can say in terms of detail, because you know it's a holographic 9th Doctor figure. It's cool, but yeah, I do have the holographic 10th Doctor figure, but he's still in his little packaging, so I've not opened it, so I can't really compare it to that 10th Doctor. But it's a really cool figure. You can see that, you know, it is holographic, and you get it in the light. It's done very well, and I think that it's translated very well actually, being in clear plastic. You can see there. Yeah, very cool figure. This sort of ghostly 9th Doctor, it's wonderful. I really do like it. Maybe this is sort of a future thing character options are going to do. Maybe we can see like an old 5th Doctor and 7th Doctor from like Power of the Doctor. I don't know, it might be an interesting little line to sort of go down. But yeah, very much traditional 9th Doctor detailing there of the costume, trousers, boots. Yeah, you know, but yeah, it's done in this nice sort of translucent blue plastic, and yeah, it's definitely going to stand out on the shelf, and it's great to finally have a holographic 9th Doctor in the collection. So what are my overall thoughts on the 9th Doctor collector set? Well, I think that it's an improvement on the Summer Wave 3 packs, in the sense that there's been a little bit more work done to this, in the sense of a new jacket, sort of PVC overpiece for the 9th Doctor, a new head sculpt, and giving us the holographic 9th Doctor. I think that it's the weakest of the figure packs from the Winter Wave. I think this is probably third from bottom in terms of the figure packs. I think that it offers something exciting in the form of the holographic 9th Doctor, giving us a figure we've known about for years but tweaked, so I can see that there's an appeal there for it. I think the Rose, it's a bad figure already, and I think Character Options have just polished it just to make it look a little less rubbish. But yeah, the new 9th Doctor head sculpt, I like it, but like I say, I think you need to give it a sonic screwdriver to complete it. I think once you give this figure an accessory, it definitely has that Christopher Eccleston look to it, and I think that that's what should be going forward. I think Character Options should give figures sonic screwdrivers, especially for new collectors. It gives them a chance to get that sonic screwdriver. Right? Like I say, certain figures need accessories to make them feel complete, much like the big finished 8th Doctor figure. So having sort of the satchel, like I say, give that figure a sonic and he's pretty much ready to go. That is the 9th Doctor there. It just sets the figure off and completes it. But yeah, overall I think that it's an okay set. I think that this set probably will end up being reduced. I think in terms of the Winter Wave ones, this is probably a set not to prioritise. I'd say prioritise the TARDIS, the Creation of a Dalek set, and just the Dalek set in general. I think the figure packs are probably quite low. I think this is probably the set you probably should be least worried about in this wave. I think the 13th Doctor set, you know, a lot of people want that because of the different Angel variants and the variant of the 13th Doctor. But you can order this set online, so if you don't fancy hunting for it, you can order it online and have it sent straight to your house. So yeah, I think that it's an okay set. It does something different to what the summer figure packs did, and I commend Character Options putting a little bit of effort, well, a little bit more effort into these than the summer packs. So yeah, overall, it's an okay set, and I'll see you next time for more Doctor Who figure-related content. I'll be taking a look at either the History of a Dalek set, the Genesis of a Daleks version, or the 13th Doctor figure pack. Now, I have reviewed the other 3 sets, the Creation of a Dalek set, the David Bradley TARDIS, and the Destiny of a Dalek set. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below to my figure review playlist so you can check out all the other Doctor Who figure-related content I've done in the past. So without further ado, thank you very much for watching this review, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.